Hi, everyone. It's Linda G coming to you from Northern California. It was in the 90s yesterday. I think it's going to be a warm one today. So how are you guys doing? My daughter bought me the nicest necklace for Mother's Day with the tribe on it, and I put it away and can't find it. But it's here. I just have to find it. Sometimes, do you ever do that? You put things away in a safe spot. They should go in one spot, but no, I had to put it someplace off the beaten track. So anyway, I want to tell you guys, I really had some input yesterday. It was a little overwhelming. It kind of wiped me out. So I'm minding my own beeswax, and I get hit with. Do Putin. Sorry. This thing just turned on. Okay. I got hit with my guides. You know how sometimes they can be really direct with me? And they were telling me, slow down a little bit, slow down a little bit, and listen more. And because I kind of get on the roll, it's the interpretation of what I'm receiving might be a little off because they're telling me I'm not taking enough deep breaths. So I promised that I would start doing that. And then all of a sudden I see Pope Francis, and he is young and he's energetic and he's in such good spirits and he's running around. He's got family there. He's got Mother Teresa there. It's just like he's doing really good. So I was happy to see him. And while I'm seeing him, I'm kind of thanking him for Leo. And just in that moment, St. Michael walks in. And St. Michael has come to me before, full dress, ready to fight the battle of evil. And apparently there's a lot of evil around us right now. So this is the information I received. I received bits and pieces, but I'm going to give you the layout. I cannot interpret it. It's up to you guys to interpret it, because if I start interpreting it, then I'm changing the story, if you guys understand what that means. So St. Michael told me as clear as day, this is as prophesied. This man, Leo the 14th, this Pope, was supposed to be here. And Francis knew him before he knew him. Francis was a Cancer, right? Was he Cancer? No, actually, Leo the 13th was a Cancer. But Francis had dreams or something. They're saying as prophesied. Now, he is not the second coming, but it's as close to the second coming as you can get, because he's going to do a lot of work for this world. And he, I'm not a Catholic Church fan because of all the harm they cause, but there's a lot of healing this man will do. So, and he won't be afraid to speak up. Now, there will be attempts on his life. I heard that as clear as day, because people don't like good. They'll try to destroy good. But I don't see him going down. So I don't want you guys to worry about that. But it's interesting because my friend who's a staunch Catholic said, because I wouldn't know, he said the first prayer Pope Leo said when he was up in the podium waving there, the first prayer he said was the prayer to St. Michael. And the one who developed that prayer to St. Michael to ward off evil was Pope Leo the 13th. So isn't that just uncanny? I was getting all this information, and my friend kind of said to me, I got to tell you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that makes total sense. So this Pope Leo is not, it felt like almost a second coming, but somebody, I think Nath was doing a spread on him. And one thing he brought up was that it is as written. It's almost like this man is doing a job he's always known he's supposed to do. Absolutely. This is as prophesied. That's what they said to me. as prophesied. And he will do a lot of work for mankind, not just for the church. There's a lot of people in the church that don't like him. And he's going to open up a lot of doors. He's going to, because back in the day, as you know, popes were allowed to be married. And then all of a sudden they decided, no, we don't want all their money going to their loved ones. We want all their estate and money. So this man will not live like a king. He will be like Francis, but not overkill. Like Francis and Mary, not Mary, what was her name? Mother Teresa. They really put out that trying to live especially Mother Teresa. They really tried to live as commoners, so to speak. Even though they had these big titles, they didn't want to be identified in that way. They slept on floors, they worked, they fed the children, they cleaned people. They had no problem with that. Sort of like what us women do when our parents are old and sick. We do everything for them. So Michael also told me some other things to tell you guys. First of all, he wants you to know, no, he's not the second coming, but he will be fighting evil in this lifetime. He says that this man will not be afraid to take out the sword. And by that, I don't mean battle as much as I mean being able to cut, Orange Crush in half with his terrible statements. They just had a thing on one of those social media that I could not believe. But Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to show a picture of someone flipping them off that came to something that they had. And she shows this picture with the finger. And somebody asked for a, timeout. I have a statement to make, and she refused. But the lady pulled the picture, the original picture, and it was two pictures. He was given the peace sign. But that's the ugly evil that's going on right now. Now, I've been hearing rumors of war and all this stuff. And I got to tell you, I would tell you, oh my God, you guys, we're getting ready to have a nuclear, we're getting ready to this. I would tell you if they told me that. But thus far, I'm not getting that. And remember, I told you Pakistan and India were going to actually kind of, there's infighting, but they just came to an agreement. Of course, Trump told total. He was on True Social. Yeah, because of me. Yeah, whatever. Just let him talk. The thing with him is we keep running to the bank every time that man lies to us. But that's who he is. He lives and breathes and lies. Stop acknowledging the lies and just ignore him. Just let him go. But that woman that really likes Trump, that gets him to fire people, what's her name? She called the new Pope a Marcus. Marcus. It's like, what? So they go off in Oz where they don't make any sense. They show pictures that half of the frame of the picture's gone and make it look like this guy's flipping you off, and he's giving the peace sign. So I wanted just to tell you that St. Michael wants you to know rumors of war, but no war. Okay? Something with China's coming up. That guy's not in good health, the leader of China. But China is laughing at the United States. So is Russia. Russia could care less about the United States. And they could care less about Donald Trump. And they look at him as a putz. They could care less. Absolutely. Just like Trump could care less about anybody else. But there's a lot of stuff getting ready to come up. Remember, they told us it was going to be really tough, especially the first 6 months. Just bide your time and let it happen, because pretty soon, bada bing, bada boom. But I'm not seeing any wars. I see Putin doing something stupid again, not listening to what they said about a ceasefire. And I actually see Trump saying, enough. Okay, we're going to do this or do that. I see that. I heard, and this is hearsay. I'm not quite sure. I read it someplace, and I don't know if it's for real. But I heard that Trump isn't talking to Netanyahu right now. He's saying he got too big for his britches and he was trying to order Trump around. That could be true. But Netanyahu is like, yeah, whatever. Netanyahu's coming in. They're all come summer, which we're already almost there. This is May. So July, August. Oh, and then there's going to be a bad hurricane weather coming up. But we will stick together, just like Starman said about Earthlings. He said, the one thing about you guys is when things are really bad, that's when you become really good because we stick it out. So and remember the guys when I begged them, I said, what the heck? You told me Trump was going to lose. How could you tell me that and make a fool out of me? And they said, Linda, man has free will. And his people need to see who he really is. So we're about ready to suffer financially, but it's not going to last long. And I see people just saying enough. I see military going in and taking Trump out, especially when he tries to order no habeas corpus and just shoot him in the legs and all that. Yeah, he's getting ready to go. The habeas corpus is absolutely no. Maybe he has the power to order that, but I see no. Let me throw real quick. So Michael and with so much information, Francis is doing really good. He's very excited. He even dreamt about this man before he came in. The minute he met him, he said, it's you. Remember somewhere in time where she said, is it you? Mm-hmm. It's like, whoa, it's you. And this guy, I'm going to be on with Andre. This guy's got Virgo everywhere. We just need his time of birth. But being that I'm a Virgo too, you know, us Virgos, we especially really smart Virgos. I can't tell you I'm really smart. Have a way of using the English language or whatever language you're using to make the point. And he will not sit down for a fight. His brother even said it. His brother said, this Pope will not put up with Trump talking trash. Yeah, Marco Rubio and JD Vance, they're kind of they're upset. They're worried about the church excommunicating them. They're worried about where they stand because they do love this church, but apparently the church doesn't like a lot of things they're doing. Marco Rubio lost his soul already. There is actual demon activity going on in the White House. Those of us who are sensitive, I've never been in there, but if I was to go now, I'd probably be able to feel the oppression. There's just, and then the way he dulled it up with those gold things, trying to make it look like the Taj Mahal, it's just ridiculous. That's what he likes. His body is becoming putrefied. That's weird. Never heard of that before. Trump is dying. He's not very healthy at all. And I just heard his body is dying from the inside. He's getting very, very old on the inside. He knows he's not doing well. Okay, so tell me about so now I can't even remember what I was looking at. I got that post surgery brain a little bit where I kind of lose thought. I want you to know too that Mel wrote me this morning. He's going home today. He's doing fantastic. No problem. You know, his husband wrote me and said he had lost 18 inches of colon. And so I told Mel the next day he called me as high as a kite. And he said, yeah, and I said, hey, Mel, do me a favor. Look under your sheet and make sure your manlyhood is still there. I hope they accidentally didn't cut it off. He thought that was funny. But I told him, no, seriously, Chet. Oh, the angel of light and mercy is here. This will all end. They just want you to know there's a cycle of what's going on right now, and it's for the betterment of mankind. There's a total reversal of fortunes, and magic will take place. You know, the rumors of war and all this stuff that goes on, it's like the light that shines amongst good people will outdo the ones that are ugly. You're always going to have ugly. I also want you to know I felt a couple assassination attempts on the Pope, but I don't see it happening. It's like he's protected. But I did see an attempt, a couple of them. You know, he'll be in there for a long. I'll probably be dead and gone. He'll still be there. Easily approachable, but they're going to have to watch him because he's too easily approachable. Okay, so I want to know about China and Russia. They had that little thing. Remember, we were looking, and I knew people wanted to go in there and blow it up, but they kept to their side. Here's the deal. Putin is a liar. He's not going to keep up with what he said he would do. Russia, Zelensky and Ukraine were hitting other areas, but they stayed away from where they were doing that show. By the way, did you see they used a whole bunch of like kindergartners and stuff, dressed them up in military outfits, marched them on the streets? That was part of keeping anybody off from bombing. Russia wouldn't have cared. They would have bombed them anyway. Tell me about China. So weird. I just got a hit from the realm on China, and I saw Kim Jong, whatever, not that's North Korea. I just saw the president, and I saw his body, and the bottom half of his body was a snake, and it was this snake head coming up. So you can't trust anything he has to say. They showed this real uncomfortable picture of Putin entertaining the president with all this China, beautiful pots and cups, inviting him to have tea, and he never took a sip. I don't blame him. This guy in China, they're having a big laugh at America, but also he is curious about Russia being able to take over Ukraine because that would help them be with Taiwan. They're hoping to weaken the United States as much as possible. They're trying to help Russia be able to fight this battle, but Russia doesn't have the staff. Russia doesn't have the money. People are leaving in droves from Russia right now. The economy sucks. The young people don't want to go to this war. This is bigger than China. Nothing they can do about it. He's very surprised. He thought he'd be able to go in there and be done in a day or two. The people are struggling in Russia right now. I feel that it's very hard to get a lot of things they need, the materials they need. And then they're going into gyms and pulling out young boys to fight the war. And then they're trying to use the Ukrainian children. Let me tell you, go ahead and use them. Once they hit Ukraine, they're going to walk away. It's funny what people will do in order to stay alive. I see people making sacrifices in order to stay alive. But there's some people in this mix of whatever I'm looking at that are willing to die rather than to put up with this, with these Russians. Zelensky's doing good. He just had a big meeting with everyone in France, everyone. It's funny how France is really helping and fighting when France was the one that came and helped us during the Revolutionary War. They helped save us. But during World War II, they just laid down the arms and didn't fight. There's probably something behind that, and I just need to find a book to read on it. Okay, so they're talking about money. He needs money. He needs money from them. And China is buying gas or something, or oil. Thank you. Both China and Russian, both of those leaders are sick. Both of them are sick. Trump is really sick. I can smell it. He's putrefying. He's dying on the inside. People might even mention, I mean, he already stunk as it was, but there's something wrong with his body. He's barely surviving. Somebody just said to me, he should be dead before he's 80 and he's going to be 78, right? So remember, we always said he wasn't going to last the whole 4 years. And even if J.D. Vance gets in there, trust me, they ain't going to be able to do much because the whole Congress and Senate's going to turn blue. Totally blue. Okay, so I wanted to look at that. I see this Pope making a huge, isn't that weird? Somebody said we have the Antichrist and the Pope in America. But this was as prophesied. This was something when this Pope was a little boy. His name was Robert, right? When he was a little boy in Chicago, he used to tell people, I'm going to be the first American Pope. That's not something he was bragging about. That's something he knew. It was in his blood. He had dreams. They probably won't talk about the dreams, just like Francis didn't talk about the intuition, but I'm telling you. And this Leo, the Pope that's already dead, he's part of this energy in there helping. He was very intuitive. He was very mystical. And he came up with that prayer, the St. Michael prayer, which was the first prayer this Pope said. So it's fascinating. I love it. Okay. Okay, let's look if Trump actually is able to stop habeas corpus. By the way, the one who was announcing that was Friar, what's his name? Steve Miller. Up there like a little Hitler. He's the one that whispers in Trump's ear. He's the one that gives him these ideas because I'll bet you Trump doesn't even know what habeas corpus means. How much you want to bet? He doesn't even know what it means. So let's look and see. Habeas corpus, will he actually be able to? Will he actually be able to? He might try to start something because people are like, what the F? I don't know if he has the presidential ability to do that. A lot of people are upset going before the courts. They just got this thing up their rear that they just want to get rid of even innocent people. There's just this thing that they just want to fly people out and get rid of them. Even though you're a United States citizen, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, remember I told everybody, listen, it's going to be a shortage on certain things. It's not going to be Armageddon, but there'll be a shortage. You'll notice certain things you got to work around. And remember, I told you guys, get your money out of the stock. The stock's doing good right now, but eventually a lot of stuff is going to take place. But we will get through it. We will manage to come to a homeostasis and manage it. This is something out of the blue. Listen, unfortunately, he's not going to live long enough to see the walls of a cell. But there are so many things, including Stephen Miller, who will be in such big trouble for this bull that they're throwing now. They will try to throw this, but within 6 weeks, 6 months, it's over with. So, and also he's suing Justice Roberts. What a dummy. What is it people used to say? Don't poop where you eat. He needs the Supreme Court. What is he doing? He's even making Justice Thomas uncomfortable. At least fake it like you care about what the Supreme Court says, but he's like, F you guys. This is Stephen Miller. I'm telling you, that little Nazi behind his ear. So I want to take a look at Patel. Apparently, he's got a girlfriend up in Las Vegas. He's spending all kinds of taxpayers' money. He only works 2 days a week. He's got someone else doing all the work. Trump has heard about this. Trump knows about it. What's going to happen to Kash Patel? We can't wish ugly, but let's just ask. What's going to happen to Kash Patel? I just heard something. I just heard the Trump administration telling Hedgehog, shut up and stand down. Shut up and stand down. And if you think about it, we haven't really seen him on any news. Remember, he used to love to be out there chit-chatting on Fox News and everything. I just told them to tell him to shut up and sit down. The president is not happy with you. That's what I heard. So it's made him nervous, so he will stand down. So he's taking money from the United States government, and he's in big trouble down the road here. He's already tore over 3 cops. He may lose his job, you guys. He's picking up the pieces. Look at this. The people within his organizations are saying that he's not doing his job. Look at that. Justice will come for him. He's a yes man, and he pretty much does. If the president calls him and says, I want this, he does it. But he went up there in front of Congress, or was it the Senate, and lied. They caught him in a lie about what he does. He's doing nothing. So what happens with him? He's making money. I don't know how he's making money, but he's making money. I'm looking forward to getting Trish James' new cards. They're like the prediction cards, but better. So I'll be playing with those babies. Give me 3 of these and tell me what's going on. So Mel will be home. I'm trying to think of what I should send him. An 8x10 glossy of myself or of the dogs. He probably liked the dogs better. St.Michael just said to me, they stand with the evil. The evil is within that White House. The evil is around. If we could see in another dimension and look at that White House, it's covered in black. It's a black energy. And there'll be news about Trump's son, Barron. He's going to do something very untoward. They try to keep things on the low. I don't know if he assaults someone, but there's some news coming out about Barron, which will go, Trump really wants them to take over. He placated his other sons by letting them do all this stuff that's making all this money. They're going to have to give all that back. Oops, did I say that? So he's kind of releasing classified knowledge. His narrative is very controlled. He's not going to catch a drone strike, and it's going to be pretty significant. There will be some sort of drone strike. I'm wondering if it hits where he's at, because he's always up in Las Vegas. Something's going to happen. May I say, this is what I hear. Okay, so I just need to say this to you guys. I don't see the president removing him. I see him saying, sir, I'm sorry, I can't handle this. That's what I heard. He wanted the prestige of being in this. And then he's realizing, I'm not. If it's impressing the girlfriend is one thing, but it's like his heart isn't into it. Either that, or as the things fall apart in the White House and people are looking at Trump saying, yuck, and he wants to get out. Because, a lot of the Republicans are kind of try to act like I don't know him, like stand down. But that's because the stench is terrible, just terrible. I see a secret recording. What's that about? Secret recording of something Trump says. He gets so mad about people giving information. I see a recording that's really going to be tough on him. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's look at Pam Bondi. What's going to happen to her? I see Jack Smith looking at her. What are you looking at, Jack? She's got a whole package of stuff that she's going to be in trouble for. All these people, including that Janine Peru or whatever name, they're up there. Oh, I'm working with the president of the United States. All that's going to fall apart. Don't forget that the guy from Fox News is going to die. Natural causes, of course. That's going to happen within a year, maybe 2 years at the most. Tell me about Pam Bondi. I love what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Shakeup, a big shakeup. Housing issues. Well, there's going to be natural phenomena take place, and we can't buy wood as it is because of all the stuff that's going on. So they're really going to have a hard time giving people someplace to live. Coerce manipulation. Yeah, she's being ruled by Trump. There's a cyber attack that's going to take place. That might be the information that's coming out, because I saw something that Trump didn't want out in the open, and I feel like he's mad, but it feels like it could be cyber. It could be somebody was able to get maybe somebody put it in their files and boom. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. Tell me how the stocks are going to do next week. Right now, they've been hanging in there. Not going either way, really. Next week, how's the stock going to be next week? You guys just hold on to your money. I got a lot of canned goods out here in my garage. Societal collapse. Woo, disappointing outcome. Bam. Trains or transport. I've often felt something with the train that's a terrorist action. I've always felt that. Or it could even be we had BART out here that totally shut down, some sort of electrical problem. So maybe it's something like that, but it's trains or transport, and might even be this stock market within transportation is going to take a good hit. Will they ever be able to get the FAA people they need for the towers? Will they ever be able to get the Newark airport up and running? They had another blackout like at 2 or 3 in the morning, which is hella scary. Okay, let's look. Will they ever be able to? The thing is, it's a sinking ship right now. The thing is that they're talking about, well, these guys get to retire by the time they're 50 something. They only allow them for some, there's a reason for that. It's a burnt out occupation. You don't want to say, hey, kumbaya, everybody come in and burn yourself out even more. They will start training and putting more people, but right now it's a sinking ship. There's more bad news coming up with transportation. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, and then who else should we look? What else? Let's give me a theme for the week. Give me a theme for the week, and then I'm getting ready to go on in about 30 minutes with Andre. It won't be live. For my subscribers, tomorrow at 3 p.m., I'm doing a live and pound free. And we'll pick 2 people for 2 30-minute readings. All you have to do is be a subscriber. I'm going to have another one for my members the next weekend. Tell me what I can tell everybody. Oh, I'm putting the white light all around everyone. I want all of you guys to be at peace, and I want you to ignore all the stuff that's coming out. Remember, that's how they make their money. So, of course, they want to jump the gun every time he says boo. And he loves it. He loves all that attention on him. Tell me about the theme for next week. I'm definitely feeling earthquakes. There's another volcano coming up in the ocean near Oregon. Prepare, stock up. That always shows. Cyclone damage. It's something in the big city. Interesting. A surprise attack. This feels more cyber than anything. There's a surprise attack. I see Pakistan and India right now calming down. I never saw a nuke with them. And no, Trump did not help, is what I just heard. Okay, give me the theme for next week. I'm going to use my Morgan Greer's. Morgan Greer. Okay, let's look next week. Russia, some news with Russia. The angel of light and mercy is standing over it. Say prayers, so you guys, that helps. This is the world. Changes in the world coming in. Some good news here. I like this Pope. He's going to make a lot of news. Look at this, even up till September. Some calmness, not too much drama. Even if there's a shakeup, it's not enough to take us down. It's good. But it's the news out there in the world. Some calmness. Maybe even Ukraine does better. Okay, you guys, I love you all. I'll tell Mel you said hey. Everybody's thinking of him. And I'll be back and I'll see you tomorrow at 3 for the live for my subscribers. All you got to do is be a subscriber. Cheers.